Good morning, students. Welcome to today's online class. In today's class, we are going to discussing about a very important concept. Nothing but a magnetic dipole moment. Here, two types of magnetic moments are there. One is related to magnetic moment of a bar magnet. The second one is nothing but a magnetic moment of a current carrying circular loop. Why both devices having magnetic moment is there? Because bar magnet produces magnetic field and current carrying conductor or circular loop is also produce magnetic field is there. So both devices having magnetic moments are there. In case of a bar magnet, that is called as magnetic moment. In case of circular loop, that is also called as a magnetic dipole moment is there. So that is about the importance of magnetic moment or dipole moment is there. The symbol of moment or magnetic moment or dipole moment is nothing but MR. First recall, what about magnetic moment of a bar magnet? For example, it is a bar magnet. Every magnet having two poles. One is north pole, other one is south pole. O is center of the bar magnet. Distance between center to north pole is L. And center to south pole is also L. And ultimately, the distance between two poles is called as magnetic length. The symbol of magnetic length is nothing but 2L. The strength of north pole is plus QM and strength of south pole is minus Q. So, in case of bar magnet, the magnetic moment can be defined as the product of either of pole strength. Either positive pole strength or negative pole strength, whatever it may be. So it is defined as a product of either of pole strength and magnetic length. So that is called as a magnetic moment. The direction of magnetic moment is always from south pole to north pole inside the bar magnet. So that is about magnetic moment in case of a bar magnet. Now, what about magnetic dipole moment of a current carrying circular loop? For example, it is one circular loop. It is one circular loop. O is the center. R is radius of circular loop. When no current is passing, no magnetic field is produced. Assume through this circular loop, I current is passing. When I current is passing in through the circular loop in anti-clockwise direction, that means at right side portion, the current is passing along this direction. At left side portion, the current is passing along downward direction. So the current is passing circular loop in anti-clockwise direction. The face of the coil behaves like north pole. So that is about our conclusions. Similarly, again construct same circular loop. O is center, R is radius. Through the circular loop, I current is passing in clockwise direction. And current is passing through the circular coil or circular loop in clockwise direction. Direction of magnetic field is inward direction. Previous case, direction of magnetic field is outward direction. Assume through the circular coil, current is passing in clockwise direction. On upper portion, current is passing in right side direction. On lower portion, current is passing in left side direction. Combines upper part and lower part. Now face of the loop behaves like south pole. Current is passing in anti-clockwise direction. That coil behaves like north pole. When current is passing the coil or loop in clockwise direction, that loop is coil behaves like south pole. So in this way, every current carrying loop behaves like a bar magnet. So in case of a bar magnet, or in case of a circular loop, Assume it is one circular loop. O is center of circular loop. R is base of circular loop. Through this circular loop, I current is passing. We know current carrying circular loop behaves like a north pole or south pole, nothing but a magnet is there. Magnet means it having some moment is there. So in case of circular loop, that moment is called as dipole moment or magnetic dipole moment. So in case of circular loop, the dipole moment can be defined as the product of currents into area. The product of current and area is called as magnetic dipole moment. It is about expression for dipole moment of a circular loop is there. In case of coil means it having n number of turns. Or whatever magnetic dipole moment of a circular coil into n. So that is about dipole moment of circular loop and dipole moment of a circular coil. So that's why every current carrying circular loop or circular coil having some dipole moment. A simple definition is product of current into area. Coil means N into I. But what are the units? We know current into area. Current having units ampere. Area having units meter square. So it having units ampere meter square. Dimensional formula. Current having dimension formula IRA is there. Area having dimension formula L square or IL square or AL square. So that is about magnetic moment or magnetic dipole moment of a circular loop is there. Next continuation, very important concept. Expression for dipole moment of revolving electrons. The symbol of dipole moment is nothing but MR is there. So very important concept. It is important for 3 marks or 5 marks. So derive the expression for dipole moment of revolving electron. So we know according to Bohr's atomic model, every atom consisting of a positively charged nucleus. So assume it is one atom. Every atom consisting of positively charged nucleus. Around this positively charged nucleus, electrons are revolving in circular orbits. For example, assume the electron is revolving around the nucleus in anti-clockwise direction. Flow of electrons always constitutes current. And assume R is radius of orange. Flow of electrons constitutes current and produced current is always opposite to a direction of flow of electrons. The electron is revolving in anti-clockwise direction. Flow of electrons lies in anti-clockwise direction and the conventional current is always clockwise directions, opposite directions. So in this circular loop, some current is passing. The product of current into area of circular loop is called as a dipole moment. So using this diagram or using this condition, derive the expression for dipole moment of revolving electrons. According to Bohr's atomic model, every electron revolving around the nucleus in circular orbit, a flow of electrons constitutes current. So in that circular loop, how much current is passing in one time? We know current can be defined as rate of flow of charge. A rate of flow of charge means Q by T. Here Q means charge, here electron charge means E. T means time period. A time taken by the electron to complete one rotation is called as time period. And time period can be defined as T means distance by speed. Or I is equal to this V is moving upside EV by D is. In case of incomplete rotation, a distance traveled by the electron is nothing but circumference of the circle. Circumference of the circle means 2 pi r. So in case of one complete time period or one complete rotation, the produced current is nothing but distance. By knowing current and area, we can calculate dipole moment. We know the dipole moment can be defined as the product of current into area. The product of current into area is called as dipole moment. The current means EV by 2 pi r into area means pi r square. Area of the circle is pi r square. One pi is cancelled, one r is cancelled. So expression for dipole moment of a revolving electron is nothing but EVR by 2. It is one form of dipole moment of revolving electrons, or it is first form of dipole moment of revolving electrons. But if this equation is multiplying and dividing with m, so above equation is multiplying and dividing with m. So above equation is multiplying and dividing with m. EVR by 2 is multiplying and dividing with m. After E into MVR by 2, or that is equal to E into MVR means angular momentum, MV means momentum P. Product of linear momentum and perpendicular distance is called as angular momentum. The symbol of angular momentum is nothing but L is it. So expression for a dipole moment of revolving electron. Second form is nothing but this, where L is called as angular momentum of revolving electron. In the first form, in the second form. But we know according to those second postulates, angular momentum of revolving electron L is equal to MVR. According to second postulates of Bohr's theorem, angular momentum L is equal to integral multiple of h by 2 pi. L means nh by 2 pi. Apply L value here. Dipole moment of revolving electron E by m into angular momentum L is L means nh by 2 pi. Expression for one more form of dipole moment of revolving electron is nothing but NEH by 4. 2 into means 4 pi n. So it is also one more form of dipole moment of revolving electron. The first form of dipole electron is EVR by 2. In terms of E value, R value is the formula EVR by 2. E means electron charge, V means speed of electron in that circular orbit of radius r. Our expression for dipole moment in terms of angular momentum is this one. Our expression for dipole moment in terms of a principal quantum number of orbital, electron charge, and H means Planck's constant, M means mass of electrons. If n is equal to 1, n is equal to 1 is dipole moment of revolving electron in its first orbit, or dipole moment of revolving electron in its ground state is also called as Bohr's magnetron. So dipole moment of revolving electron in its ground state, if n is equal to 1, the corresponding dipole moment is called as Bohr's magnetron. So n value is 1. So expression for dipole moment of a revolving electron is ground state, but Bohr's magnetron is n value 1. EH by 4 pi m. By applying all the values, E means electron charge, H means Planck's constant, M means mass of electron. By applying all standard values, electron charge is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. Planck's constant value, standard value 6.625 into 10 power minus 34. M means mass of electron 9.1 into 10 power minus 31. After applying all values, an expression for Bohr's magnetron is nothing but 9.27 10 power minus 24 ampere meter square. So it is about the value of Bohr's magnetron, 9.27 into 10 power minus 24. Units of dipole moment is nothing but ampere meter square. So that is about expression for dipole moment of revolving electron. From this conclusion, we have a definition, one more definition of Bohr's magnetron. So Bohr's magnetron is also dipole moment of revolving electron in its first orbit, in its ground state. The corresponding equation is this one, the corresponding value is this one. So that is about a very, very important concept, is nothing but a dipole moment of revolving electron and the definition of Bohr's magnetrons. Next continuation concept, a conversion of galvanometer into ammeter. Conversion of galvanometer into ammeter. First of all, what is the difference between galvanometer and ammeter? A galvanometer is a device used to measure direction of flow of current. Or galvanometer is a device used to measure very, very small currents in order of microamperes. That kind of device is called as a galvanometer. So with the help of galvanometer, we can measure a very, very small current in order of microamperes. That kind of device is called as galvanometer. And what about ammeter? Ammeter is also a device used to measure strength of current, means strength of current in order of milliamperes or amperes. So what is the difference between galvanometer and ammeter? A galvanometer measures very, very small current, microamperes. Ammeter measures current is in order of amperes. So before converting, it measures very small current. After converting, it measures large current. So in the process of conversion, that device measures large current, or we can increase the range of current measured by the devices. So that is about a conversion of galvanometer into ammeters. Before converting, it measures very small currents, microamperes. After converting, it measures large current in order of amperes. That means range of galvanometer. That means range of measuring current by the galvanometer is increased by so many times. So that kind of device is called as ammeter. Before converting, it is called as a galvanometer. And how to convert galvanometer into ammeter? Simply shunted galvanometer is also called as ammeter. By connecting small resistance parallel to galvanometer to protect galvanometer from the high current. A small resistance connected parallel to galvanometer, then we can protect galvanometer from high currents. And at the same time, the range of galvanometer is also increases. So that is about ammeters. Shunted galvanometer is also called as ammeters. For example, assume it is one galvanometer. The resistance of the galvanometer is nothing but C. A parallel to galvanometer, a small resistance S is connected. So by connecting a small resistance parallel to galvanometer, then galvanometer converted into ammeters. The combination of a galvanometer and small resistance, the combination of G and S is called ammeters. Only this part is galvanometer. The combination of G and S in parallel is called as ammeters. So enter this combination is called as ammeter. Ammeter is always connected in series with the circuit. This entire combination is connected always in series with the circuit. Because in series combination, same current is passing. Here total current is high. Here dividing current is also high. So that's why ammeter is always connected in series with the circuit. So assume I current coming from the circuit is divided into two parts. A small part of current is passing in galvanometer IC. Out of large current, only small part of current is passing in galvanometer. The remaining part of current is passing in small resistances. That means total current I divides into two parts. Nothing but IC plus IS. So according to diagram, the total current I is equal to IC plus IS. Or IS is equal to I minus IC. It is one equation. Or current passed through small resistance is the difference of these two. A difference of these two is nothing but IS. IS means current passed through small resistance or current passed through shunt resistance. Nothing but IS is I minus IC. I means the total current. IC means galvanometer current. Next, according to diagram, G resistance and S resistance, G and S are in parallel. So according to diagram, the both resistances G value and S value are joined in parallel. But we know in series combination current is same. In parallel combination potential is same. That means potential across galvanometer and potential across small resistance always equal. Potential across galvanometer according to Ohm's law, the potential difference V is to IR. Using that formula, potential difference across galvanometer means product of current into resistance. Across galvanometer current is IC. Resistance is capital C. Is equal to the potential difference across small resistance or shunt resistance. Here potential means current into resistance. Current means IS. Resistance means S. Or IZ into Z is equal to IS means we know I minus IZ into S. So to convert galvanometer to ammeter, the required value of small resistance or the required value of shunt resistance S is equal to IZ into Z by I minus IZ. So to convert galvanometer to ammeter, the required value of small resistance S is IZ into Z by I minus IZ. Before converting, sir, here IZ means galvanometer current, I means total current. Simplify this equation. S is equal to IZ into Z by I minus IZ by IZ. Or S is equal to Z by dividing I by IZ. IZ by IZ means 1. Or S is equal to Z by N minus 1, where N is equal to I by IZ. The ratio of total current to galvanometer current is called as N is there. And N is also called as a sensitivity. To allow nth part of current, passing through galvanometer. Nth part means 10th part, 100th part, 50th part, 60th part. To allow nth part of current is passed through galvanometer. The required value of a small resistance or shunt resistance is nothing but S by G minus 1. So to allow nth part of only 100th part of current is passed through galvanometer. The required, for example, if N is 100, that means 100th part, 1 by 100th part of total current is passing through galvanometer. Then required value of shunt resistance S is equal to Z by 100 minus 1 means 99. To allow 100 part of current passing the galvanometer, the required value of shunt resistance is 99 part of galvanometer resistance. So that is about a conversion of galvanometer into ammeter. Simply shunted galvanometer is also called as ammeter. Or definition, by connecting a small resistance parallel to galvanometer. So by connecting small resistance parallel to galvanometer, then galvanometer converted into ammeter. So that is about conversion of galvanometer into ammeter. So regarding ammeter, before converting it measures very low current. After converting it measures very high current. And ammeter is always connected in series with the circuit. And resistance of ammeter is always decreased. We know in parallel combination, the effective resistance is always less than individual resistance. In case of parallel combination, effective resistance is decreased. And what about resistance of ideal ammeter? So resistance of ideal ammeter in case of parallel combination, effective resistance is always decreased. And by connecting a very small resistance parallel to galvanometer, then galvanometer converted into ammeter. Then limit for a small resistance means 0. So resistance of ideal ammeter is always 0. A very small resistance, limit means 0. So resistance of ideal ammeter is always 0. It is also very important. So in this way we can convert galvanometer into ammeter.